And it takes us to this page right here. And this is the main page of the Heaven dashboard. And it's where you can show your QR code to someone so that they can pay you for your tokens, your IST tokens. Yes. And you can double click this right here for it to change up. Yes. And we can switch between the two like that. And we see we have some buttons up here. We got the IST button, the TWT, the post peg, the docs and templates, and the work. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and click in the IST button. Yep. And once we click that button there, we see our heading change here and our tool menu changes here. Yeah, we'll go back into the opt-ins and it automatically comes up with one here. Yeah. And this is where you'll be able to see your opt-in dashboard for each one of your ISTs. We can click in the picture here and we see that the opt-in dashboard changes, and we can come down here and use one that has yet to opt in. Yeah, and we see that we're on the main page for the opt-in to give us a choice of whether we like to opt in for this particular IST, which makes it real, which gives you negative rep points if you uh, stop reporting or you report late. Yeah. So of course, yes, we can hit this button down here and agree to everything, and it'll create an opt-in dashboard like we're used to. Yeah. With the TWT PIS here, it shows us the issue date, the expiration date, the wallet address, how much I'd have to pay in ZEC if I paid today. Yeah. And we can see we got the IST button here, the TPO button, and we have the TWT button. Yeah, but we'd actually have to have some tokens in here. Let's see if we can get one that's ready to go. Yeah. Yeah. You see we got some tokens in here, some fictitious token orders in there. Yeah. And of course we can see the TWT for this particular IST, which shows all the metrics if it's an actual good one. Yeah. So yes, and remember, when you're in your opt-in dashboard, this is where you make your reports, your year of reports. Yes, you can press that IST button right there, and it'll pop up your year of reports, and you can see we can scroll down in a couple of RPDs, but the only one that matters is the one at the top. Yeah, and yes, that we can click the blockchain right here, and it'll pull up this so that we can report the repayment to the yields. Yes, and so it can get verified so that it can become part of our reputation, so that each time we raise capital, everyone gets to see our rising reputation, and it should make raising capital easier. Yes, and of course you do this in for reporting. You paste in the transaction hash from your cash tab, you paste in the income sent, you paste in the timestamp that you can get from your cash tab. Yeah, you press that button right there and it'll send it off to the yibs. Yep. And the TPO here is for you to fulfill your token orders. Yes, because remember, we're doing token product, right? Token as a product. So they buy the token and we ship it to them later. Yeah. And that's in our opt-in dashboard. Yeah, inside of our Hev dashboard. And we can also go to the ISTREP request if you have met an ISTREP. If you have yet to meet an ISTREP, it's going to tell you, hey, you have to go out into the world or hop on some social media or something and get in touch with an ISTREP and scan their QR code for you to be able to have access to the ISTREP request. Yes, and an ISTREP is an IST capital raiser. Yeah, so those are the people who can go out into the world and raise the capital for you instead of you having to do it yourself. And we can do a quick demo of sending a request, right? So we're going to come down here, we're going to press that send request, and it'll ask us, hey, you're going to choose an ISTREP. Yeah, we'll choose Dre Dre. It'll bring up some of the information for the TSTC. It'll bring up the ISTREP's rep card. Yeah. And of course, the rep card is how much USD has been raised and how much has been returned to the market, and we'll go deeper into that when we do our video directly on the ISTREP. So yeah, you can see we have ownerless tokens here, which are the free tokens that you can actually make deals with the ISTREP. And we see we have 55. Yeah, and you can come down here into here, and that's where you can press that 55. And you can say, all right, we're going to do 1%, 5%, or 10% to the ISTREP. We'll do 5% here. And we can just send that ISTREP request off. And the ISTREP is the one responsible for the approval or rejection. Yes. As we will be able to see inside of our little mini dashboard here. We see we got the ISTREP right here. The request was sent. It was approved. Yeah. So we can click inside of the approved button, the green button here, and it'll bring up that particular cap raise info. Yeah. So you got the cap raise ID, the IST creator name, the tokens allocated to the ISTREP, the percent to the ISTREP, the ISTREP commission, yes, and the total capital raised by that particular ISTREP. Yes. And of course, you can put the pending in there to see. You can just focus on the approved, or you can see if who's rejecting you. So maybe you'll stop sending them requests. Yeah. And of course, if you still have tokens out there after your capital raise time period is over, you can always do a token recall. And of course, you click here on the particular ISTREP. You come down here and it gives you the information for the particular tokens. Yeah. And it'll tell you if the token has been recalled or if it still needs to be recalled. Yes. And you can click over there and you can see that we have yet to do a recall on this token, so we still have the recall button here. Yeah, so when you press that recall button there, it sends a yesification to the ISTREP so that they can do what they're supposed to do, and they will be barred from being an ISTREP for 3 months if they refuse to send you back your tokens in a timely period, which is 2 weeks. Yes. So of course we can come back up here to our main menu and we can press the token button and it will tell us, it shows us what stage of our tokens. Yes, because when it's pre-yield, it's before the verification, but I have already paid for it. Yeah. And post-yield is when the IST creator has sent me my tokens and they have been verified by the yields. Yes, which is an ISTREP.cash thing. And of course, we have the save IST so that we can go through and quickly look in on the ISTs that we like. Yeah. And of course, you press that main button right there and it sends you back to the main menu. And you can double click right there. Yeah. And you go into the post peg and it'll send you into the peg verse, which we'll have a separate video on that. But let's go ahead and click this docs and templates and let this load on up for us. And we see here that here is where we can download particular things. Yeah, we got the book, TWT structured IST, and these give massive rep points that open up other things in the website. Yeah. And we have the white paper which describes the SITREP dossier, and we have the white paper that describes the worker reputations, and we have the rep list, the rep class list, and the rep rating list. And we have some example templates here that you can download and look at and turn into a business. Yeah. Alrighty. So we just click on out of that. Go back here into our page, and of course we can go and say, all right, I like to be a part of verifying these payments on the blockchain. Remember to press that and pinch that to re-verify. And if you feel like going through this and getting it all correct, you go ahead and do that. But this is still built for laptop and desktop. Yeah. So you can press the verification in there and you can turn it sideways and you can go through all that process. But yes, it is a headache. But hey, it's a great way to get you some e-cash. Alrighty. And that is good for the IST. Yep. So yes, click on that TWT button, and yes, that brings us into our TWT page where we can see all of our TWTs. As you see, we have our buttons up here: the per, the one, the mon, the we, the BMV, and the STV. Yes. And we can click on one of those and it'll show us our personal TWTs or our one-time TWTs or our monthly TWTs, so on and so forth. And we can come down in here, yes, and we can click onto the particular name of the IST, excuse me, yes, of the TWT, and we can see that we have our mobile TWT here. Yes, the TWT looks different on desktop and laptop, but this is the mobile version of the TWT. And we can see we have our particular information here. We have the most important information at the very top and at the very bottom, right? You got the static token price, 24 bucks. You got your par ride, your profit, your extra, your what you get paid over what you paid for the token, yeah, of $5.26, and it gives you all the other metrics of the TWT, the div, the ITD, the hashtag T, MVI, VCR. Yes, 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 yes. If you would like to comprehend all those, watch some more of the other videos, yeah. And we can go in here and look at our one time and see what the values are. And we can click in the weekly here, yeah, and see what these values are. And these are just to use maybe to create an IST, right? And of course, you hit the delete button, it'll go ahead and delete it for you. And you just press that main button and go on back to the main, yeah. And you can go in the TWT, and the BMV and the STV are a little bit different, yeah, because you they have more to them, right? Like the blockmaker Valrai has miners attached to it, yeah, and the staker Valrai is has some different kinds of proof of stake attached to it, yeah. So if you actually have some of the BMV or the STV, you created some of the TWTs, it'll show down in here, yeah. And we'll go more over that when we do our videos on creating blockmaker Valrai TWTs or creating staker Valrai TWTs, yes. Alrighty, thank you. This has been Tycoon Wibby for ISTREP.cash. Heaven, heaven.